Now, students, today we are going to discuss a very significant part in the molecular basis of inheritance, that is the protein synthesis. We know that the synthesis of proteins and proteins are finally helping in execution of all the genetic information which are acting as enzymes. So today we are discussing that protein synthesis. Clear? That is translation, the process how this translation occurs. Now, already we came to know that translation occurs in the cytoplasm, and it requires various substances like the tRNA, ribosomes, mRNA, amino acids, and several factors. So now we will discuss how the process goes on. Now at the first phase we'll find activation of the amino acid. Clear? Activation of the amino acid. Now in presence of magnesium and ATP, an amino acid get attached to the specific enzyme. Clear? In presence of magnesium, whole thing occurs in presence of magnesium, amino acid ATP gets attached with a enzyme amino acyl tRNA synthetase. Clear? And these three forms a complex which is amino acid adenylate enzyme complex. Clear? And releases pyrophosphate. The bonds of this pyrophosphate is broken and it forms two inorganic phosphate, and that particular energy is released. So at first ATP binds with amino acid, and that amino acyl tRNA synthetase enzyme and forms a enzyme amino acid adenylate enzyme complex. Clear? And releases pyrophosphate. So this is activation of the amino acid. Now amino acid is bind with some energy giving substances, and so it is called activation of the amino acid. Now what happened? These amino acid adenyl enzyme complex will bind with the tRNA. Clear? This will bind with the tRNA, and that will be a specific tRNA. For a particular amino acid, that will be a specific tRNA. Clear? So it will bind with that specific tRNA. Activated amino acid will bind with the specific tRNA. It will mainly bind with the 3' end. Clear? 3 end of the tRNA, and it will produce a new complex called amino acyl tRNA complex. So it will produce a new complex called amino acyl tRNA complex. Clear? And this process is called charging of tRNA. So this process where activated amino acid binds with the tRNA, activated amino acid binds with the tRNA, 3' end of the tRNA, and forms a amino acid tRNA complex. This is called charging of tRNA, or it is called amino acylation, or it is also called amino acylation. This complex is called amino acyl tRNA complex. Now the tRNA is charged one. Clear? Which is ready for the protein synthesis. Now the initiation factor is there, and in presence of initiation factor, the mRNA, clear, the capping region of the mRNA comes in contact, clear, with the 3' end of 18S RNA of the smaller subunit of eukaryotic ribosome, or it may be 16S RNA of the prokaryotic ribosome. Clear? Smaller subunit of prokaryotic ribosome. So you can see here it gets the cap region fits with the smaller subunit of ribosome, forming in prokaryote it forms a 30S mRNA complex, or in eukaryote it forms a 40S mRNA complex. So now it is formed. Now next step, the this charged tRNA, this charged tRNA that is coming along with the amino acid, and we know that initiation codon is always generally, in most of the cases it is AUG. So for AUG we have the anticodon UAC. Clear? UAC, and this and tRNA with the anticodon UAC binds with the methionine. So the initiation at first the tRNA containing methionine comes along on the smaller subunit and gets attached with the codon, which is the initiation codon, which is present at the P site. So this initiation codon of the mRNA is present in the P site of the smaller subunit of ribosome, and now this tRNA with that particular anticodon, which is complementary to it, comes and binds with it, which is carrying the initiating amino acid, that is methionine. So in case of the prokaryote, it becomes 30S the mRNA tRNA formulated methionine. In eukaryote it forms 40S mRNA tRNA methionine. Clear? Complex now. So this is 30S or 40S according to the prokaryote eukaryote. This is the tRNA and this is the methionine. So this forms now a complex. Now the larger subunit, you can see here, next the larger subunit, clear, comes, and in presence of magnesium they gets united. So larger subunit comes, and in presence of magnesium they gets united, and as a result they form, now it forms the 80S tRNA methionine. In case of eukaryote it forms 80S tRNA methionine complex or mRNA tRNA methionine complex. In case of prokaryote it forms 70S mRNA tRNA formulated methionine complex. So now they have, now this ribosome is totally a complete ribosome, and this initiation codon, the tRNA along with the initiation codon along with the tRNA is there in the P site, in the groove which is acting as a P site. And now the A site, on the A site next the codon, clear, the next codon in the mRNA is there in the A site, and accordingly the tRNA with the amino acid comes and binds with the codon which is there in the A site. Now after this the elongation starts. Clear? Now after this the elongation starts. These two amino acids, clear, which is there in the P site and A site, they binds with each other forming the peptide bond. We know that peptide bond, here you can see one amino acid and here is the other amino acid, and finally that is the COH end and this is the amino end, and from here the water, one of the water molecule is released, and the COONH, that is peptide bond, is formed. So this peptide bond is formed here, clear, between the two amino acids, and as soon as the peptide bond is formed, the attachment of the amino acid with the tRNA at the P site is cuts off, and this tRNA which is there in the P site is freed from the amino acid. And now the ribosome moves, clear, and now the ribosome shifts, and as a result the empty tRNA at the P site now comes out of the ribosome, clear, and this tRNA which is there in the A site with along with the two amino acids, clear, it comes in the A site. So the tRNA, which is along with the two amino acids already bonded by the peptide bond, which is there in the A site, now shifts to the P site, and next codon comes in the A site. So A site is again empty, and again according to the codon present in the A site, again a new tRNA which is already carrying the amino acid with the complementary to the amino acid which is coding for this particular codon, which is now there in the A site, comes and sits along in the A site, forms a complementary. This anticodon of this tRNA forms the complementary bonding with the mRNA in the A site. And as soon as this form, then these two amino acids which is already there now have shifted to P site. Now these amino acids again bind with the amino acid present in the A site by peptide bond. And as soon as this peptide bond formation occurs, this attachment of this second amino acid, like so you can see here we have taken valine as the second amino acid, clear, the valine as the second amino acid. Now this tRNA carrying this valine, clear, this connection is cuts off, and now as soon as this peptide bond between this amino acid, suppose this is glutamic acid, clear, the peptide bond is formed, established, this connection of this tRNA that is there in the P site with the second amino acid, this amino acid, it cuts off, and now the ribosome moves to the next codon, shifts one codon. Clear? So likewise it goes on, this translocation continues and the peptide chain starts on growing. Clear? The peptide chain starts on growing and the translocation continues, and the empty tRNA is moving out of the ribosome. Now it may happen that another ribosome may get attached from here and again start. So, and this formation of the polypeptide chain continues till there the stop codon comes on the A site. Till the stop codon comes on the A site, this formation, elongation of the peptide chain is continued. Clear? So as this termination codons like UAA, UAG, UGA comes on the A site, so there is no specific tRNA or amino acid for these codons. So as a result, automatically the polypeptide, elongation of the polypeptide stops. Clear? And finally, this polypeptide is now released from the ribosome. So this is how you can see, this is the exit site where from the polypeptide, which is newly formed polypeptide, is released. Newly formed polypeptide is released from the ribosome. And we have already discussed that it may happen that the ribosome which has formed in the first goes on shifting, and this region newly formed new ribosomes again, this mRNA which has been driven out, clear, this the ribosome is shifting and the mRNA which is there outside, there the new ribosome can start the protein synthesis, and as it is a new set of ribosomes can use this part of the mRNA and starts protein synthesis. So as a result, we will see that single mRNA contains several layers, several ribosomes at the same time. So this structure is called polysome or polyribosome.